I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're taking a look at a book that is just remarkable. It is called Remembering ZEOLA by Barbara Norris Arya. This is a heartfelt book that captures the enduring legacy of a woman who exemplified love, faith, and resilience. Today, we will discover how ZEOLA's dedication to her family, to community, and faith created a lasting impact that continues to inspire. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Books to Life Marketing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Barbara, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Thank you very much. It's a privilege to meet you and to do the interview.
Oh, the privilege is mine. It's great to talk to you. You've written a beautiful book that's a great tribute to your mother and a wonderful story that captures her legacy. What made you decide to share your mom's story with the world?
That really was not the first thought I had. In fact, I just wanted to record for her family things about her life. She had started writing stories about her life, but she never wrote anything beyond her early childhood. And for me, when I got to the end of the stories she had written, I felt this is incomplete. I can't let it stay here because her life matured. She matured in life as a believer, as a person walking in the faith, as a woman challenged in many ways. And I just thought, I've got to tell her life story. So in the introduction to the book is what I talk about, that finding mom's stories and wanting to preserve them, but feeling disappointed that she had not captured anything about her adult life, and that it was a story to tell about it. She used to say to me, you ought to write a book. Well, this was years ago, and I never thought, I had anything to tell. That's what I would say. I don't have any story, Mom. And it really didn't stay in my mind. But once I learned about her, the stories she had told about herself and her enthusiasm in describing her life as a child, I wanted to kind of capture more of the essence of her life as an adult, as a woman who married, who was faithful to her marriage, who walked many hard paths, and who I got to see, all of us got to see how she managed. How does she handle all of these trials that come up? And she did come out beyond them with a greater faith, which I was able to relate to back, after she had died. But I had come to know more about it before she died too. But that's how the book came about.
Yeah, sometimes after our parents pass, we reflect upon the miracles of their lives and the trials and tribulations that they went through, the road that they had to journey along.
Yeah,
Sometimes it wasn't easy, but they made it anyway. And as we're a
yes,
child, as we're growing up, as we're a young adult ourselves, when we're busy with our spouses or our families and work, we don't necessarily appreciate it. But when we reflect back, that's when
yes,
we realize, dad was a great guy or mom was a wonderful person, and this is what she contributed to the world. And your mother certainly did that tenfold, which is true. Tenfold is a good number to say because she was also the mother of 10 children, which is
yes,
quite an arduous task as well, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Amazing. Could you share with us a memorable story from the book that highlights your mom's character and her values?
Yes, there are a couple that come to mind, but when her sister, who was married to dad's brother, and her sister was older than mom, she was oldest daughter. And when she came to a huge crisis in her life, that is, her husband left her, and she was pregnant. She was close to giving birth to twins. And she probably didn't even know she was ready to give birth to twins, but mom had already given birth to twins in the same year. And they both had suffered the death of their father. Their father had gotten cancer and had died in 1956. So after um, both of them being pregnant, and mom gave birth to her twins in February, and Aunt Tot, her sister, gave birth to her twins in June. But at the time she gave birth, her husband had already abandoned her and the family. And Aunt Tot's twins made her children's number 10 children and left alone. So that one was such a hard crisis. And when she came and made it known to mom and dad that her husband had left and she had given birth and the twins were sick and just no job, no money, no, and here are 10 children. So it was a very hard crisis. But the Lord gave mom and dad the desire in their hearts. They knew they had to do something. They couldn't just ignore that here is a huge need right here in front of us. We have to do something. So dad went, as far as I know, I was a child at this time, but based on what I learned, from mom and dad about that time, dad took her and got some groceries and then took her back home. And they needed to make a decision because 10 children, somebody has to be working.
Right.
So Aunt Tot decided that she would take her oldest son, who was 18, he could get a job, and they were going to go back to Illinois where she had lived before. So they went, mom and dad went along with her, and they took her 10 children. However, it was going to be 9 of them living because she took the oldest son with her. So 9 children were moved into the house with mom and dad's 9 children.
Amazing.
Yes, but my oldest brother actually was not living with us in the house at that time. So it made the number 17 children.
A little more manageable, but amazing. Amazing.
Right. And
So when I was
four
amazing.
twin babies. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
So they went through that crisis.
Your mother raising 10 children, I thought was a lot, but to have a house filled with 17 is actually mind-boggling, really. And like you said, 4 babies.
Uh-huh.
Amazing.
And they had to be held to nurse. Somebody had to hold all 4 of them. Amazing. And of course, it kept mom busy all day long. And then we were mostly girls. There were only 2 boys among. Amazing. So I describe a little bit of the squabbles that the girls would have every day.
Right. Although I think all those girls are better than all those boys, because the boys would have been beating each other up and stuff,
Right.
And breaking windows. Too much testosterone, the boys would have been going at it. Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing, amazing. That is an amazing story. It must have been an amazing time to live in. It's quite unique.
It was.
You don't see anything like that in this era. I mean, people don't have 10 children today, for the most part. You know what I mean? But your mother had 10 children, and then, another set of 10 children. Absolutely amazing. Tell me about how your mother's faith influenced her actions and her decisions during challenging times like these.
Well, for one thing, it drove her more to God's word. We would see her late at night, sitting on her bed, reading her Bible. I know she became more devoted to her Bible and wanting to know what it says. And I was impressed with her memorizing scriptures. She loved to memorize poems. She also memorized scriptures. And I remember one time I was home, she had the knee replacement surgery, which was really hard on her. It was during that time, I believe, that she had memorized John chapter 15. She memorized all of the verses. And when I was there and she said the chapter for Betty and me, we were just floored. You not just a few verses. She memorized the whole chapter and said it for us. So we were just astounded with that. Amazing. She also was very devoted to Sunday school, to choir rehearsal. She worked with the children to make sure they could sing some songs in the worship service. Those are some of the ways that her faith really was expressed.
Wonderful, wonderful. When folks read this book, what do you hope they take away from it?
I really hope that they would take away some of the ways that she walked out her faith
Hmm.
in in her caring for those who were sick among her. She would make a meal and carry. She
Yeah.
might go and say, do you need something washed? Do I need to clean up? Can I wash some clothes for you? Those were ways that she walked out her faith. um, when her mother was living there in the community with her older sister, mom would go every day and make sure her body got washed, her clothes got changed. She just was there for people who were hurting and in need.
I think people will also learn how much difference one person can make. One
Yes.
person's caring, one person's love, and beyond
Mhm.
caring and beyond love, action. Actually doing
Yes.
something to help others. Because
Yes.
you can have great intentions, you can say prayers, and that's great. But it's
Right.
also good to do God's work yourself. And that's what your mother did. And I think that's
Yes.
why this is such a compelling story. The name of the book is Remembering ZEOLA. It
Yes.
is an amazing, heartfelt book. There's the cover right there.
Hmm.
It captures the enduring legacy of a woman who exemplified love, faith, and resilience. She was the mother of
Hmm.
10 children and at one point had 17 kids, including 4 babies in the household as well, and
Yes.
managed it all very, very well. Barbara, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate. And it warms my heart when somebody can speak about the book who has actually read. It just
Absolutely.
makes me, it warms my heart. I
Absolutely. And
appreciate it.
hopefully a lot of more people pick up the book and read it because it is well worth the effort, is well worth the read. It is truly inspiring. It's about an era that doesn't really exist today, where neighbor knew neighbor, family
Yeah.
stuck together, and
Hmm.
it's really an inspiring, wonderful story. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.